Spare us your quiddities.
Yeah, but he's a...
A traitor, I know. Stay here and fight if you want. If you can walk, let's go.
You're taking him with us?
We could use another sword arm.
And you have it.
Okay, we have gotten beneath the knob in the dungeons, and this is the idea behind this in the storyline is that this passage that we're taking was originally intended to be a sort of pathway into the dungeon for supplies and stuff. But when airships came and were invented and became a common form of transportation, they sort of fell out of use because it wasn't really a necessity anymore, was it? If you can have an airship, what do you need an underground passage for? But the power seems to still be working. Well, sort of still working. So we're gonna have to go down here and try to restore the power. Oh, Basch has joined the party as a guest. Let's go take a look at his stats. Now his attack power is low, and his defense, magic resist, all that crap is at 0 because he's not using a weapon or wearing any sort of armor. But his base stats are quite high. Maybe it's only because he's got 2 levels above. But the way Basch usually works is his strength is very high and his other stats are lagging behind that a bit. But he's a powerful bruiser. Very useful character to have just to do damage. Hey, there's some guy down here. Okay, the guy gave us a tube fuse. Okay, we go and install that on the thing up there, and then we can get some power going. And there we go. Alright, now we can go and flip the switch.
Who turned out the lights? One of those?
I've heard of these. Mimics. They disguise themselves as all manner of things, then strike when you're least wary. Some of them have a fondness for energy, I'm told. They gorge themselves on the stuff till there's naught left.
So, what happens then?
Lights out, and it's worse in the dark. Much worse. So, let them get too close to one of those conduits, and they'll suck it dry. But don't worry, it'll give the energy back if you ask nicely. Sticking it with a sword helps too. Clock's ticking.
Okay, we have to kill these mimic monsters before they manage to drain all the power. Because in the event that we wait too long, we're going to have a problem on our hands. So let's try to kill those things. I'm going to take out the zombie first. I don't want that thing poisoning my party members. Oh jeez, kill it! Kill it quick! Okay, now get that mimic. Notice the charge gauge is in fact dropping. That wasn't That's something you do have to watch out for, but as long as you kill the mimics before they have a chance to drain it completely, you should be good. Because by killing this thing, not only will it restore the energy that it is taking, it will actually restore more energy than it had originally taken out. So killing those mimics will get us all the energy we need to get from one side of the passage to the other. Now, what happens in the event that you go and allow all of the power to be sucked out, which there's something else sucking the power now, I've got to find it. If you let that happen, then what start to come out are a bunch of skeleton monsters, which will come. They're not very strong, but they come out in large numbers, and that's something you have to watch out for. Now, remember, in the very first episode, we had seen it was Rex had traveled with Basch, Captain Basch von Ronsbury, that's this guy we're traveling with now, to go and protect the king from the Imperials, because they figured once the peace treaty was signed with the Empire, they would kill the king, and as it turned out, Basch had actually intended, once they had reached the king, to kill him first to prevent him from signing the treaty. And, well, that didn't really go over too well with everybody else, and the Empire continued the war. Now, we had always thought that Basch was a murderer now. I mean, obviously, Basch was there. We'd seen Basch stab Rex. Rex survived long enough, at the very least, to tell everyone that Basch is this big traitor who was responsible, and it seemed as both the Empire and the people of Damascus blamed Basch for what happened. Damascus, obviously, because their king was killed by Basch, and the Empire, obviously, because, well, he had put an end to the treaty that they had wanted to establish with the people of Damascus. So, well, so that was I don't want them killing the bat. I want to keep the chain going with the mimics. Boom! Kill it! Kill it now! So both sides would blame Basch for what happened. But we had also heard of conflicting story about after the fact that the Marquis of Andor was a leader of another country. We'll meet him later. In that kind of open letter he had made to the people of Damascus, and it was read aloud to us in the beginning of the second episode, saying that Basch had taken the blame from both sides and he was executed for what he had done. Well, obviously he wasn't executed because here he is alive. Now, if that turned out not to be true, perhaps the whole idea that he was responsible for the king's death wasn't true as well. And in fact, the person we had seen interrogating him, the judge, who was a judge known as Gabrand, we'll meet up with him a little bit more later on in the game. He looked just like Basch, only shorter hair and without a scar across his head, across his face. So perhaps, don't fight that thing. So it raises the possibility that, in fact, Basch wasn't responsible for the death of the king. Of course, our characters here are not aware of that because they did not see the face of Gabrand while he was doing his little interrogation. All they saw was the back of his head. So they didn't see what he looked like, didn't notice the visual similarities. So as far as they know, Basch could have been Basch still could have been the assassin. So of course, Vaan is immediately trying to beat him to death. You killed my brother, you killed the king, you plunged us all into this, kept us going with this war that we didn't have a chance of winning. It was this big show that he put on. And Balthier actually was the one that stopped him from from attacking Basch. And I think it's much more of a practical reason for Balthier and stopping them, because he wanted to enlist Basch's help in them escaping this dungeon. Because they don't know what's ahead. It could be very dangerous, and if Basch is as good of a soldier as everyone figures he is, he could be quite useful in their escape. Now, we had seen something... Oh, okay, they're going to heal anyway. We had seen something with Balthier's sort of protective nature over Vaan earlier, where, I mean, he has no reason... Ouch, man, shot, that's no good for me. He seemed to be quite protective of Vaan. He saved his life while escaping from the palace, grabbed him, held onto him with that hover bike thing. When he didn't really need to, he traveled with him through the waterway. He stopped Penelo from going and getting herself killed by running up to Vaan when they were in Lowtown. So he seems to, though one would suspect that he is quite a self-serving individual as well, kind of like you'd expect any pirate to be. He seems to be thinking more of others, but perhaps it was a kind of similar to what he had done with his motivation for all those actions was similar to the reason why he had saved Basch a few seconds ago, because he needs his help. He perhaps needs his help in order to escape. This thing will have a map. And again, it can also be because he's not, he legitimately is not a real douchebag, and he wants to save people if he can. And it's something at some point later on in the game, some sort of pirate's code is mentioned where they help people who are in trouble or something like that. I don't really know the details of that. I guess it really doesn't matter. Oh, come on, I'm not finding the stuff that I want. There was a certain weapon that you can find at this point in the game in this passageway that is it's a pole or something like that, and it's a useful weapon that Balthier is in a reasonable area of the sphere grid. That's Final Fantasy X. A reasonable part of the license board to gain access to, and it's a much better weapon for him than the gun we see him using now. Kill it before it can suck any power. Oh, it's trying. Kill it! Notice Basch, despite being at a higher level than the other characters, is not really doing a lot of damage. And he has MP, but he doesn't have any magic powers that he can use. So either he doesn't have any powers, or his gambits are really bad, not set up for him to use any magic attacks. And that's really only because he doesn't have any equipment on him. In the event that I gave him some equipment, he'd be much more useful. Oh, there's a few battery mimics in here. We gotta kill them before they suck off the power. Yeah, it's just something you have to be careful of. Just don't let, as long as you kill the mimics when you see them, you should be fine. You shouldn't bother. You shouldn't have any real danger of running out of power. And even if you do, it's not going to really be the end of the world. Skeletons will come out and attack you, but they're not powerful enemies. They're weak little things that'll attack you in large numbers. And I guess it could be advantageous for you if you really want to gain a high chain bonus. Just sort of hang around and let all these different skeletons attack you. One irritating thing about this, though, which I discovered during my test playthrough, was in the event that you do let the power go out, which I have to let happen just to see how it worked, you will find an unfortunate situation where even if you do kill a mimic and regain the charge, the lights come back on and all that, the skeletons will not stop coming. They're going to hound you until you leave this part of the game. So if you really don't feel like having those things come at you, just don't let the power go down. We're getting a high chain. I'm hoping we can start getting some nice equipment. Vaan doesn't have any good gambit set up, so he's not going to be curing himself. I have to make him do it. And I want to make sure that both Fran and Balthier don't accidentally just burn through all of their MP needlessly. Okay, I got plenty of license points. I'm going to spend a few giving these characters some stuff that they can use. Potions to store more MP, that's good. Maximum HP raised by 50, very nice. I should get that for all of the characters. And gambit slots are of course useful, but I do not have enough license points to use them. Of course, Basch is not a member of our party, not a true member of our party, so I'm not going to be able to. Not going to be able to use him quite yet. Not going to be able to use any license points on him. Okay, maximum HP increased. Oh, what do you know? Can't get across that way. Gotta find another way. Oh, so this was a dead end. I'm running through here thinking it's a good place to go. I wonder if the enemies don't always seem to respawn. I guess they did in this occasion. But they don't seem to always respawn when you leave an area and come back. I guess it's to prevent you from just running in and out of an area and gaining a really high chain bonus on killing weaker enemies. I guess I could do that here, though. Kill it! Once I find some weapons for Basch and some armor for Basch, it's going to become much more useful character, which can correspond, of course, with the enemies becoming stronger, but on average, I think you're going to get the advantage there. Right now, at this point in the game, you really don't have to worry too much about Basch getting killed, because even if he gets knocked unconscious, it's not really a big problem because he's not a terribly strong asset to the party, so you can leave him unconscious as you're running through here. It doesn't matter if he gains any levels or not. It's just a big load of nevermind. Oh, should I kill these things? I kind of want to keep my chain bonus going. But I don't want to. I don't know if these flans are going to stop chasing. Oh, what they did. Nice combination there. Oh, Basch has a low attack power, and he's a bit of a squishy target because he doesn't have any armor on. But once we get some armor on him, he'll take more damage before going down, and he'll also be able to do more damage. He'll become a much more useful member of the party. I think he'll end up having so much power that he'll deal more damage than any member of our party currently does. And he's a pretty tough target too, so we should be. It'll be pretty awesome. Okay, I want some good loot here. Give me some good stuff. I don't want the crap that you've been giving me. We got a 4-hit combo, but since his attacks don't do much damage, it really didn't do me much good. And the Mimic ended up restoring its HP anyway. Characters like Balthier and Fran, since they have ranged weapons at the moment, they'll never do those combo attacks where they attack more than once, but they will do critical hits where they just simply do more damage. Okay, I know this isn't the way through, but I think there might be a treasure chest up here. 200 gil. I mean, getting money's nice, and I guess you get more money out of chests than you do out of killing monsters directly. But I still would really like to get some... I'd really like to get the piece of equipment I'm after. Buckler! Okay, that's a piece of armor. That might actually be a nice item to have. Once I flee from these flan, once I get away from the flan, I'll go check it out. Oh, okay, it's a shield. I unfortunately don't have the license for it, but, where is it? I don't even know where it is. It's a shame. None of my characters are in a good position to, determine where it is either. Oh wait, hold on, I was looking at the wrong area. Still, I mean, it might be right here, but I don't have the license points to find out. And even if I did, I don't know if I'd want to waste it on that. Okay, I knew my characters would get blinded running around down here. That's why I made sure to pick up this spell before I left, even if I couldn't really use it until I had gotten the license points, which happened only recently. Come on, give me some good loot. Chain level 23. Of course I got no loot. Damn it. I want some loot. Let's look at the clock. This episode's been going on for 23 minutes. No treasure chest. No flan. Okay, that gives, it took 30% of the power, but it's opened up a gate quite a ways away from here, back where we had come from. So I'm gonna run back that way, fleeing, I guess, the entire time to make sure I don't encounter any enemies. Although I should probably cure up Basch before I get into any battles that might be difficult. Wow, that one followed us for quite a while. They took care of it for us. It's just a flan. Oh, a bomb. Bombs are reoccurring enemies in the Final Fantasy series, where as they take damage, they increase in size and have the potential to explode, causing a lot of damage to you, even though they kill themselves in the process. And it can be a real unfortunate thing that even though you managed to defeat the monster, it took you out in the process, or at least weakened you for your next fight.
Mist seethes.
It reeks. Something's close. Nice moves there, Captain.
You mean traitor?
So they say. But I didn't see him kill anyone.
My brother did.
Rex. He said he had a brother 2 years younger. I see. He meant you. Your brother. What became of...
He's dead.
I'm sorry.
It was you who killed him.
I give you my word. That was not the way of it.
My name's Rex. All I have left, sir. He's 2 years younger than I. Living in
Time, Basch. Save the discussion for later.
We found them!
But if we arrive after he signed the treaty...
Sir, we have little time. You must go to the
As I
king.
feared. They're slowing
my
us
home,
down.
Captain Ozilus's
I'll
and for my
handle these.
parents. Captain, why? Our king, what have you done?
His Majesty was a traitor.
A twin brother. Fancy that. But still, the pieces fit, I'll give you that much. And he did look like you.
I don't believe you.
Of course not. It was my fault that Rex was there. I am sorry.
My brother, he trusted you. He trusted you and he lost everything. How can I believe you?
Not me, then. Believe in your brother. He was a fine soldier. He fought to the last to protect his homeland. No. Surely he fought to protect his brother.
You don't know anything!
Believe what you want to. Whatever it takes to make you happy. What's done is done.